Hi, I'm Dale Bohren, publisher of the Casper Star-Tribune. I'm speaking to you today from our former press room, which to me is the epitome of the changing media landscape. When we began to print in Cheyenne last August, some people thought it was the beginning of the end for us, but nothing could be further from the truth. In 1891, if you lived in Casper, Wyoming, and you could read, you read the Natrona Tribune, the Star-Tribune's humble beginning. There was one newspaper in town with virtually no competition. In the 1930s, radio came along. It was predicted to kill the newspaper, but that didn't happen. Today, there are more than a dozen local radio stations, plus Sirius Radio, Pandora, and multiple other options, but still only one newspaper. In the 1950s, television came along. It also was predicted to kill the newspaper, but that didn't happen. Today, there are literally hundreds of television options, but there is still only one newspaper. The 1990s brought the advent of the internet. The internet truly is a game changer that has revolutionized or impacted nearly every aspect of life and business. It too has been predicted to kill the newspaper. While it's having a big impact, killing newspapers is not exactly what's happening, but successful newspapers are evolving very quickly as a result. If you have seen any of the reporting on studies of what happens to communities where the newspaper has gone out of business, the news is not so good. People become disassociated from their local government, and local government becomes disassociated from their citizens. It's unhealthy for government of, by, and for the people if there's no balanced coverage of governmental activities, and as a result, communities become more polarized. Newspapers can be a thread that runs through all the community, conveying information about people and events that matter to all parts of the community. Fact-based, in-depth, long-form journalism, plus watchdog and investigative reporting, help a community keep track of itself and what various levels of government and business in the community are doing. This is news that keeps us informed. But when the newspaper goes away, there is most often no one to pick up that slack. Social media is very powerful and is a real factor in the way a community communicates with itself today, but it's no substitute for fact-based reporting. Few Facebook users or bloggers file freedom of information requests or consistently attend series of community meetings to report what all sides of an issue are doing or thinking. Media and media consumption has dramatically splintered over the past few years. It's also true that print circulation has been declining over that period. But the Star-Tribune has been participating in the evolution of media and social media since the beginning of the internet. While our print product reaches nearly 20% of our market, our digital products, including a replica of our print product, reaches 52%. Combined with our website, social media feeds, and specialty newsletters, your newspaper reaches some 82% of the Casper market every week. There's really nothing to compare with the newspaper for informing or reflecting the depth of a community. Why? Because the Casper Star-Tribune's newsroom is the largest news operation in Wyoming, with more reporters and photographers than any other news operation in the state. We have professional reporters covering beats from energy, education, local, state, and federal government, cops and courts, plus arts, community, and food to sports. We offer nearly instant coverage of UW games, as well as the state's prep sports scores. Add to this broad national news and sports coverage, outstanding premium content on food, homes, and technology, plus comics, crosswords, puzzles, and you'll find there is no substitute. For an accurate reflection of the community, the newspaper is it. As an aside, the Star-Tribune has been recognized as the best newspaper in the state by our peers at the Wyoming Press Association, and just this week by the Associated Press editors for outstanding work in their sports reporting, photography, and investigative categories. No, the news about what happens when a community loses its newspaper isn't good, and it's obvious why. I cannot say that the newspaper business in Casper is easy, but I can say we are here to stay. We cover Wyoming, and it's important to us that we do it well, and we hope it's important to you too. No matter where we print, we thank you for reading the Casper Star-Tribune.